Up to a foot of snow is possible through 5 a.m. Saturday.
We get another surge of colder air.
One storm tracking to the east, the next one on the way into Colorado tonight.
Snow returns to the mountains as well.
It's tomorrow night, 5:30. We start to see that snow ramp up.
Tops could see a foot to over a foot of snow through Saturday morning.
1 to 3 inches in Denver and about 5 to 10 in some of the northern and central mountain locations.
In the backcountry areas, if you could avoid going there, I would do that this weekend. Now for us...
Well, shit. That's where I'm going. Those northern mountains. 5 to 10 inches. It doesn't sound like the snow is supposed to start till I get out there. So this is probably a bad idea.
Garage Brewer Adventures.
Good morning. It's Friday, February 16th. I'm just pulling out of Boulder, Colorado, heading into the mountains. I'm planning to go to Indian Peak Wilderness to do some cold weather camping, and it is expected to snow. They're talking about maybe 5 inches of snow where I'm at. We'll see. This should be a fun trip. I'm bringing my homemade tent. I've got a homemade hot tent and a homemade stove. It's not the lightest setup in the world, but it works. And this will be the place to do it. It's supposed to be pretty cold. It shouldn't be above freezing my entire trip. It's pretty foggy here, so not much view of the mountains. Hopefully it'll clear up tomorrow and I'll be able to get some good pictures and video. This is it. I've arrived at my trail. I think I'm going to go into this Coney Flats road. I don't know. There's a couple options here. There's an uphill route and a downhill route, and depending on how hard this sled is to pull, I'll make my choices based on that. Anyway, I'm going to put my spacesuit on and get ready. All right, here's my setup. See if I can even pull this thing. That's not bad. Well, here's my choice. I can go uphill to Coney Flats or downhill to Sourdough Trail. I don't really plan on going too far. It's tough to decide. I know it's flat up this way. I don't really know what's that way. Uphill doesn't sound good though. I'm already quite warm. Well, I brought my selfie stick, but I left the clip in the car, so I have to use my arm, which is not giving me a great shot here. No. sled over there without dumping it. Actually, I'm gonna make a path first. Oh man, it was a lot of hard work setting up the shelter. It's pretty bajankety too. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with the back. It's all kind of floppy. I don't really have it on flat ground. The snow's not dug out right, but it's up. It's stable. I think it'll hold for the night, and I think it's stable enough to put the chimney up. So I'm just gonna sit in here and take a break and cool down. For as cold as it is outside, I'm crazy warm. Hard work. Well, there's the tent. Doesn't look too bad on this side. This side's a little screwed up. Got my stove set up. There's no wind. I don't think I'm going to guy off the top. So, for wood, I'm totally cheating and using one of these fake fire logs. I've taken the paper off because I've had trouble in the past where the paper can, a piece of the paper can fly up into the chimney and block it. And then you have smoke coming into the tent. So I just take the paper off. I'm going to use one of my fire starters and just light it that way. I did this with a friend once, and we were out cutting, firewood, or we brought firewood and we cut some firewood, whatever. We were using real wood, and everything, it worked fine, but then we went into town and got some of these fake fire logs, and they're just so much more efficient and they last longer, and they're a lot less work too. So totally cheating, but well, it's not cheating. I hauled it in here. So it's about 50 pounds of these things, and they should last, I've got like 10 of them, 3 hours each. So about 30 hours of fire, although I might double them up. So not quite that much probably. Anyway, check back on this later. Snow's really coming down. Well, if I want firewood, there's a log right there I could start sawing on. That looks dead. Might be some firewood around here I can use. One point I had a signal. I'm gonna go for a little walk, see if I can find it again. Just check in. I do have a new satellite messenger, but that looks really pretty. But I only have 10 messages, so if I can send a text, that's better. Oh man, it's warm in here. Whew. Ha, nice. There we are. It's really coming down. Let's see what the temperature is outside. Totally post-holing here. It's pretty pretty deep. It's not even that close to the fire. I'm just like kind of off to the side. Steaming. I ended up moving this pole over here to help with the water dripping. All the water was funneling into this hole. Still get a little water, but it's not bad now. So I got a lot of snow up on this side, so I just threw my snowshoes up there. The shovel is drying socks, trekking pole drying gloves, and my buff. My boots are drying out. My socks were completely soaked. There's the luggable loo for going to the bathroom, number 1 or number 2. It's got bags inside of it that fit the whole thing. They line it and it's a Ziploc seal so you can pack it out. That's a lot easier than trying to dig a hole in the snow and then trying to dig a hole in frozen dirt and burying it all up. I mean, I don't want to mess with that. I set my clothes out over here on the snowshoe bag so that they'll stay off the ground. I've got my backpack. I emptied it out. I emptied out the backpack and put all the clothes over here, but I'm hanging the layers I've been using on top of it. And then I want to kind of protect, so this is a ground sheet that I'm going to use, but I put all my down, well, you can't really see it, but I put all my down in there to start fluffing up, but it's kind of all wrapped up in the ground sheet to stay dry. And then I've got my sled just full of all the various bags, my food's over here, all the wood, and I got some platforms over here of wood for things I think I might want to keep handy. Cook pot. I'm doing my water. I'm melting snow for water, so I will eventually need to start doing that. Let's see, so cook pot, toiletries and electronics, whiskey, hooray Chiefs, good job winning the Super Bowl. Water, thermometer, and carbon monoxide detector. My wallet, I didn't mean to bring my wallet, I meant to leave it in the car. That is a bag of coffee. I got some oatmeal, got my Garmin InReach, map of where I am, and some recording devices. The toilet also works as a chair. I can sit down and sit perfectly comfortable in front of the fire. Okay, it's starting to get dark. I was pretty comfortable, but I think I'm going to bundle up one more time and go up to where there's a signal. And that water's coming in. I'm going to go back up to where there's a signal just before dark and come back. And I'm going to take a saw with me and just saw off a log to bring in here just to supplement the wood and to give me something to do. So. Back. You know, it just doesn't even seem that cold. It's just so still. Down to 14 degrees. We're accumulating some snow here. It's just beautiful. Okay, I did not bring water, so I'm going to use snow for water. I'm going to melt snow. Since it's pretty fresh snow, it snowed a week ago and it's snowing right now. The snow's all pretty clean. So I'm just gonna get a scoop. I'm right outside the tent. It's not yellow. And my understanding is that you want to add some water to help get it started. And I can already tell it's melting pretty quick. This tent is inherently a little drippy because there's holes in the ceiling. That one's for the chimney. I recently expanded it because I had some problems when I was testing, and that one was supposed to be an air hole, but I don't really think I need it anymore with as big as that is. Whatever the case, this needs to be seam sealed. I could close it up, but it just, I don't know. The material I sewed on there doesn't, it's just not waterproof. The problem I had when I was testing is that this section of the tent was flapping around so much that it bent the pipe. I had to cut out probably a 2.5 foot section of pipe, and so it's a little shorter than it used to be. And so my solution was to cram these poles up to hold it. But by doing that, I've made the roof a little too flat, and so the water is accumulating up here and dripping in. So I don't know where I'll end up sleeping. It's still nice and toasty in here. I'm on the same 2 logs I started with. They're 3-hour logs. I started at 3 o'clock. Well, they're 4-hour logs, but in testing, I found they last about 3 hours. 69 degrees. So, and it's about 6 o'clock, so it's been 3 hours. I can tell it's starting to cool down. I'm having trouble melting my water. Although it's melting. I got some trail spice in there. Whoops. Well, it's 6 o'clock. I might want to see what this tastes like. I did not bring the heavy glass bottle. I brought the bag, but I put it in my little camp flask that's lighter than the glass. It is Crown, though. Delicious. Cheers. So I've got a little station for sawing this log. I just leave it outside and I pull in a little bit more and cut off a piece. I've left them here sitting on my boots. So this might trip the carbon monoxide detector when I open the door, but it will only be for a moment. Logs are still going pretty good. Carbon monoxide's going up. Thermometer says 66 degrees. For dinner, I'm having, I've got some chicken, a can of chicken. I've got 2 bouillon cubes. I've got my water going, and I've got this chili crab noodles. I don't actually like this chili crab, so I'm just gonna use the noodles and I'm gonna make my own broth. I like this brand. I don't like this flavor, so. I've already put my 2 bouillon cubes in there. I'm just gonna pour all that in. Juice and everything. Yeah. Okay. And just kind of break it up a little bit. I might not have room for the noodles in there. All right, so it's about 7 o'clock. I started this fire with 2 of those. They're 4-hour logs. They do get colder at about 3 hours, and that's when I added some wood. They're still going though. It's still going pretty good. And actually, when I tested this, they went all night. I mean, there was a small coal almost 18 hours later. So I think it's something about controlling the airflow into this thing. It makes them last super long, but it is cooling down, and those little pieces of wood I stuck in there didn't last hardly at all. So this is why I bring these things. They're just incredibly efficient. I have no idea what they're made out of. I mean, they seem like kind of like a wax sawdust kind of thing. So I don't know. This will pick up at all. That pipe is glowing red, just barely. I got some pictures of it. This is starting to look good. Still waiting for it to boil. I think instead of letting it reduce, I'm just gonna maybe use my coffee cup and get a cup full of broth and meat. And I'll have a little appetizer before I have noodles. There we go, that's better. Not bad. It's warm. I just realized I don't have a way to eat noodles, or the spoon's not going to be very easy, so I'm going to make some chopsticks. They're not perfect, but I think they'll do. Alright, the soup's ready. I'm going to pull it off. Try out this soup, try these chopsticks. Oh, it's still hot. It's good though. That's delicious. So, I wanted to kind of talk about like bear strategy. I mean, there's what everyone tells you should do, and then there's what I do. and I'm not necessarily saying that you should do what I do, but I mean, I'm out here cooking in this tent. I'm eating where I'm sleeping, and there's really no other way to do it. So I assume in this extreme cold weather with a snowstorm going on, the bears are asleep and not interested. I just realized that there's water accumulating here on the ceiling, and this is totally clean, drinkable water, and I can pour it in here. Holy cow. That's interesting. All right, this is gonna be the weirdest coffee I've ever made. Completely eyeballing everything. Do one more. Looks like coffee. And it filtered the little pine needles and stuff out of my water. It's good. It's strong. It's good. So as the tent's warmed up, the stand, I had to dig this out, and I had reached the bottom, but there was still snow, and the stand was not quite all the way on the ground. And so as it's melted, I've kind of found that it's uneven, and the stove will tip, and it'll like lean on one side of the hole or another. And so as it's been doing this, I've been just shoving these shims under it, just little pieces of sticks. And now I think it's finally perfect. I've got a stick under each corner, and it's like not even touching the edge anymore. It's just freestanding. So it's perfectly balanced right now. And I think, I mean, there's still more to melt, but I think it's all the way seated now, so I think it'll be stable. This is a little, I'm just warming up a little whiskey water and what was it? Like peach mango tea or green tea? Yeah, it was a mango green tea. It might have had peach in it too. I don't know. Some drink mix I had. I probably wouldn't normally have this, but I wanted some flavor, and I warmed it up too, so it's just steaming. Delicious. Cheers. Well, I think I'm done with melted snow water. I love this new water source. Well, I only got a half a liter that time though, so I'll still have to melt some snow. It's weird. It looks like I'm in an interrogation chamber. You got my light hanging. Can I? Right there. There we go. Well, I wanted to talk about the firewood. I need to do some research about these fire logs. I have this funny feeling it's going to be like, oh, they're terrible for the environment or something, because they seem almost too good to be true. I've still only put in 3. It's after 9 o'clock. So I've had 3 logs in there since 3 o'clock, 6 hours, and it's still warm. It's 6 degrees outside, Fahrenheit, and it's 70 degrees on the thermometer at the ceiling. I'm sitting right now, so it's definitely a little cooler. It's not quite room temperature, but I'm plenty warm. And if I want to warm up, I just kind of stand up because it's warmer. It's warmer up higher. I've got my booties on my feet, so they've been super warm. I've also got really thick wool socks. Yeah, so this is great. I brought 10 logs. I was planning to stay 2 nights. So yeah, I mean, I feel like 5 logs is going to get me through the night. I'll probably put one on here soon. It feels like it's cooling down now, finally. So I'll probably put one on. I've also still got this wood I can throw in there too. But before I go to bed, I'm definitely putting one on, and I think I will be good for the night. If I wake up to pee, I might throw one in, you know. But if I have 5 tomorrow, I've got just as many. I mean, so I won't need to go get any supplemental firewood or anything. So happy with the fake logs. Fortunately, I think that's still too long. I'm gonna have to cut it one more time. This has kind of been my view all night, just sitting here heating up water, or sometimes heating up a drink. It's been different combinations of these scenes all night long. I just threw, so it's about midnight, and I just threw in the 4th fake log, and it is hot. I had to close this up quite a bit to get it kind of under control, but it's really hot in here. What are we up to? It says 80. It keeps going up every time I look, so we might be heading up to 90 degrees in here in a few minutes. My sleep setup, so I set up, flattened out this area. I was using that as my little tabletops, but I moved those over here. And I've got 2 mats, so there's one of the foam mats, and then there's an air mattress on top of it. This is probably overkill. I don't think I need all this, but I have I sort of planned for the event that the stove failed and I didn't have the stove, and so I was planning for 0 degrees. So I've got a 20-degree sleeping bag, a 20-degree quilt, and I brought my 20-degree under quilt just as a blanket to throw on top. That should get me down to like -10 or something, which is not happening. Not happening in here. At least not tonight. Pipe's getting hot. I'm getting ready to go to bed. Let's see, I checked outside. It's 2 degrees. So definitely getting colder out there. Anyway, I'm heading to bed. Good night. Morning. It's Saturday, February 17th, 2024. The stove was still warm, kind of smoldering, but no flame. I went ahead and put in another log, but I had to use a fire starter. It got pretty cold in here. It was 28 degrees on the thermometer, so I'm kind of bundled back up, waiting for this fire to get going. What plan for today is, I think I'm gonna do some snowshoeing around, try to get some pictures and things. I'll end up going back by the car, so I'm going to take some of the things that I packed a little too much stuff. I'm going to take some of the things I don't need and put them in the truck. I've been debating about taking the tent down. Well, I'm going to leave the tent up, but I may, if it's early enough in the afternoon and I want to get out of here, I might tear down and go and sleep in the car somewhere along the way. But if it's later, I'll probably stay because I already have the shelter set up. So kind of just trying to make tomorrow a little easier, if possible, but I don't know. I've got options. Back up to 85 degrees. Oh, it's beautiful out here. Oh, the trail's almost filled in. It's like 17 degrees. Got like little ice stalagmites here. Not really stalagmites, but it's where it's melted back, but the ice just resists resists melting. There's breakfast this morning, biscuits and gravy, coffee. I hate to admit it, but it's instant coffee. I have 2 packets of instant coffee I need to get rid of, and I was feeling lazy this morning. Sawtooth Mountain has been kind of a nemesis of mine. I've tried to go over it a few times, and it's always been too much snow at the top when I go. So sometime this summer, I think I'm gonna conquer that thing. I might get a view of it here in just a minute. Let's see. I am not a vehicle, bicycle, or a horse, so I can go this way. A horse would be nice. I wouldn't want that to fall on me. Well, this is the best I'm getting for a view of the mountains. There's one way over there. I think I'm giving up. I know I'll eventually get a view if I make it to Coney Flats, but it's given the time of day and, well, I'm gonna have a quick lunch and then I need to use the rest of the time to get back, and I think I am gonna pack up, so I better start turning around. There's Sawtooth. Finally found an angle where I could see it. Well, my hip flexors are starting to bother me. It was my right one. Now they're both starting to complain. I don't know, snowshoes and pulling a sled is kind of a lot of stuff I'm not used to, so I think I'm getting close to the beginning. So that's where I hiked today, and this is where I camped. Home. All right. The chimney's still smoking. Currently 21 degrees. Let's see what the low was. -5. Alright. It's pretty cold. There's the train. Getting ready to go. Ugh. Oh man, I'm hauling everything to the car. I know I'm almost done, but I'm about out of gas. It's mostly uphill too. Yeah, the old hip flexors are done. I can't make it very far without stopping now. I don't have that far to go. Man, just need my legs to work for like 10 more minutes. Every corner is, I keep thinking I'm done with this uphill, and it's just more and more uphill. Oh, is this finally a downhill? Did I just jinx it? Oh, look at that. just get to it. Goodbye, trail.